Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Shannon.
And I'm Sully from Godsmack. And you?
You.
Oh, you got it.
Hey, you're watching and listening to Linea Rock.
Hi Sully, hi Shannon, welcome back to Milano, welcome to Linea Rock.
Thank you.
You're about to play a show. Are you excited to be back in Italy, and is it always a surprise Europe for you?
Europe is a fantastic place to visit, and we really have enjoyed coming back here. And I think if we have any regrets, it's that we haven't gotten here enough.
Okay.
And we definitely plan on coming back here as frequent as possible. We're on a mission to try to conquer Europe as much as we can. We have a lot of work to do, and we've had some bad luck over the years trying to get back here, but we think we have a good plan in place now, and we plan on coming back here as often as possible.
Sully, I know you like to play poker. How do the adrenaline of the game is comparable to, the rock show experience for you?
It's not even close. It's two opposite things.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Completely opposite.
Completely opposite. The rock show is like unleashing a beast, and poker is,
Masking your emotion.
throwing cards.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Trying not to show emotion.
Okay. 7 albums in 20 years and 20 million albums sold. Is Godsmack spirit still the same? And what do you think that has been your role, your spot in the music scene?
Well, we of course in 20 years we've changed. Our spirits are, I think, better now, really, because we've matured and we've gotten older. We've started families. We have children. We're not angry young men anymore.
Okay.
And so, we've tried to mature our sound as well as our home lives. Tony and I don't drink anymore, for instance. He was never a problem drinker like I was, but we used to drink a lot, and he barely drinks like that anymore. We understand what we have now, I think, and which makes it more special, and it makes it more important to us to be great. And so, but with the spirit of the band, and what do I think about Godsmack in our scene and coming up? Well, if you look at all the other bands that started making it, and they were dubbed new metal in America in the 90s, not many of them are left but our old asses standing right here.
We stand alone.
It's true.
So after 3 #1 albums, you get stronger or more insecure when it's time, to write new songs and do it all again? Because, there are big expectations every time.
Yeah, no,
bigger and bigger.
Of course, yeah. I go through the same, I've learned that I go through the same process every record. I panic at first. I feel like I have no ideas. I feel like I have no melodies. I'm stuck. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what I'm going to write about. I don't know where I'm going lyrically. And yet somehow once I immerse myself into the music and I just kind of give in to that,
Okay.
then magic happens. And we've been really blessed over the years with finding what we feel is great material, stuff that's really helped us grow as a band, grow musically, individually, music that has helped me get through some of the hardest times in my life. Thank God it was there for me to have as an outlet, to vent my emotions through, because there was some painful moments and I needed that music to carry me through it. But it's funny that I know when we get to the next record, I'll be doing the same thing again. I'll be like, I don't know what to do with this one. I don't know what to write about. So, but we always find a way to get to the other side. And luckily for us, this record was really something special, I think, for all of us. I think when it finally came together, I think we all feel that this was probably the most well-written album that we've ever done together.
I'll say about expectation parts, the cool thing about Godsmack, by the time I joined, they'd already sold 7 million records. So the first record came out and literally blew up in our home country. And so we never really had the labels and management all trying to tell us what to do and how to look and how to sound. He had complete control. And so the expectations are all within us. Like, we just wanted to do good so we could continue on to spread music throughout the world. But there's nobody looking over our shoulder, it better be #1 again. And you know what I mean? And we didn't have that stigma, which a lot of bands did have, that had a lot of strife in the beginning where the label's trying to form them into this or that. We've been able to stand alone.
And I don't think we ever try to write for the radio or for like the commercial aspect of it, but we certainly are quick to identify a song if we feel like, wow, this could actually be really strong on the radio because it sounds like, something that could be a hit single.
Yeah.
But I don't think when we're doing the work we ever think about that, like, let's try to write a hit song. We just write the stuff that moves us and that we feel like we can represent well live on stage, and then it takes another form down the road, and it presents itself in another way when it gets into the public. So
you had quite a few hits, but When Legends Rise has been the #1 song at rock radio and the most played song in rock radios in America in 2018. When a song becomes such huge, such big, you lose any kind of connection with that? I mean, it becomes universal, it becomes more a crowd favorite than your own song. How do you live that?
no, I don't see it that way. I see it as the opposite. When we write a song like When Legends Rise, I think the first thing we go to, I'll tell you this much, Legends wasn't even supposed to be a single.
Oh my God.
That was an accident. We wrote that to be an opening song because we felt like we needed a big, powerful song to open the show. We wanted to have something new. Over the years, we found ourselves getting stuck with opening with the same songs. There was only so many songs that would work as the first song in the show. And as you know, when you go to see a show,
Yeah.
that first song, you want it to be strong. And so we were really focusing on trying to create a big song for the beginning of the show. And we were shooting for a different song to come out after Bulletproof. And there was some legal problems that got in the way. And it's a long story, so we don't even have to get into that. But the bottom line was, it made us shift our decision to another song. And so the label, was getting some good reports from the people and just decided that Legends was the better choice to go with. And so we just said, okay, we usually make these decisions. We're going to let you make this decision, but you better deliver and you better be right at the end of the day. And so they did a good job with it.
They were right. We've never had 2 #1s in a row. We've on the same record. And so this is a first for us. And after 20 years as a band, firsts are always welcome.
That song is about the journey of the band through ups and downs. What do you think that makes it so universal, its message, why it arrived so strong?
Well, I think, for one, the music in itself was very unique compared to what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
There was power in it, and there's a lot of elements in there that Godsmack does naturally, but there's also some textures in there that we introduced for the first time that was a different kind of sound that people weren't used to hearing. And the melodies are a little bit different. And I think that was kind of one of the first things that attracted people to it. But I think when you start to concentrate on the lyrical content, I think it might relate to people just because we all have our struggles and our ups and downs, and there's only 2 choices, right? You can lay down and die and be weak, or you can stand up again and fight and make sure that you get to the other side and become stronger and better than you are. And I think as we were all facing our own challenges, Shannon had mentioned sobriety for him and Tony and things like that.
Yeah.
And Shannon's the kind of guy that loved to party. Like, he likes it, you know what I mean?
I still do.
It's a struggle, I'm sure, at some point, because when you love something but you just know it's becoming very dangerous for you and you have to stop, I'm sure there's still that internal battle that you have to go through when he did rehab and all these things that he had to go through. And he was on my mind a lot when I wrote this song, and not so much him personally, but his story and how that story relates to so many people that either battle addiction or they battle some kind of like challenge that, you know, life is known to cut people down, and you have to learn how to stand back up and reach down inside yourself and find your inner strength. And that's what Legends is about.
August 6th has become officially Godsmack Day in Boston. What
Doesn't mean shit.
What happens
I got a
in the
speeding ticket. I couldn't even get out of it.
But what happens in the city that day?
It was crazy, man. We go downtown, we meet the mayor. You know, all these fans are around, and it was surreal. And God, it was an honor, man. I mean, that's something that as a kid, especially he grew up there.
Okay.
You know, and so it's just surreal because you never expect something like that to happen. We're a rock band with tattoos, and you know, it's like, wow, here we are. You know, get on our Harleys and ride in this town, this huge city, and now we have a day there. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's an honor.
So you've been labeled new metal, post-grunge, alternative metal, everything. How do you perceive yourselves, and which was the original plan?
Hard rock.
Okay, simple.
Finito.
That's it. You're Italian, right?
Si.
Yes, see. Where your family come from?
My father's from Melilli, Sicily.
Okay.
My mom was born in America, but her family's from Naples.
What do you think is pure Italian in your attitude? Salvatore.
What do I think is pure Italian? My appetite.
Okay.
I love to eat.
All right. You, Shannon, have been defined the John Bonham of alternative metal.
Woo! Come on, Johnny.
I love that.
What do you think of your style that got that definition?
Oh man, you know, that's a good question. I think I'm an original. You know, I'm not the greatest drummer on the planet, but might just be the most original over the years, maybe. You know, it's weird talking about yourself like that. But I mean, I am very, very proud of what I've accomplished, and I think I've influenced a lot of guys that, even if they don't admit it, you know.
You've been announced in...
Shy, he's a little shy.
He's a shy guy. I saw you with Ugly Kid Joe, long time ago.
Oh yeah?
Yes, I did. You've been announced in the Inkcarceration Music and Tattoo Festival with, you know, Shinedown, Five Finger Death Punch, Buck Cherry, a lot of other bands. What's the easiest and what's the toughest part of those kind of events? Do you ever feel, you know, any challenge playing with other great, huge bands on the same stage, you know?
No, I thought it was going. The toughest spot is the first spot because the sun's shining in your eyes.
No,
Right.
that's not what you meant.
We're going on. That's not what you meant. But
That's a
oh
good
my
question,
God.
though. I like the question.
Yeah.
Take it.
You know, me personally, you know, I have so much faith, belief in this band. We're a real band. We don't use lots of tape. You know, we never ran any tape until this particular record when we implemented new sounds, some synthesizers and stuff that are underneath the stuff like that. You know. But I mean, and I'm talking really, literally, just one or two songs that we even have to use any kind of traction. We don't use. Long story short, almost every other band we tour with does. So whenever we play with any other band, no matter if they're great live, like Shinedown, great, you know, I always feel like, you know, we're more real, and we go out, and if we don't have anything but the four of us on the stage, we will sound great.
Okay.
Just four musicians playing guitars, bass, and drum, and vocals, you know. And so I don't think anybody can touch us live.
Shannon, the Apocalypse Blues project is it's been disbanded.
The review is done, yes.
Okay, so there's no chance that it has only just put on hold,
Oh,
or
no, it's just a revival is beginning.
okay.
The Apocalypse Blues revival
Yeah.
will be back with a new face and a new voice.
All
You
right.
call it the revival? Yeah, you changed it? That's cool.
That's just, this is the first time anyone else has ever heard that, but
Oh wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
the revival has begun. I haven't released it in America as far as on our website yet and stuff, but it's going to happen, and you know, we just need to, we're going to find a new face and a new voice, and it's nothing to do with our old singer. He's a wonderful human and has a great voice. It's just that, you know, I write the music, I write the songs, and basically he's 2 generations older than Tony and
Okay.
Brian and myself, and so, man, when I'm talking about, you know, make your voice a little airier like Perry Farrell, or use a little more nasal on this one like Liam Gallagher, he doesn't know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I realized that when I was growing up and I was watching Don Kirshner's rock concert and Midnight Special on
Yeah.
TV, when he was that age, he was watching Lawrence Welk show with his parents, and
Okay.
so there's a generational gap, and so it was nothing personal, and it's simply a thing that Tony and I do when we're off of Godsmack.
Yeah.
And Sully does solo records. I always attribute the year off that we usually take in 4 years. Like we'll take a year to write and record, and then we'll have a couple years of hard work on tour. But in those 3 years, we're in each other's face, we're in each other's grill in our lives constantly. And so for us to be able to afford the luxury of taking a year off, for him to do solo work, which is a lot of beautiful piano-driven work, and then Tony and I do straight blues, you know, and work with different musicians. He has a whole different band, a fantastic drummer in his band, and guitar player, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, I have singer, bass players, whatever. And it makes us really appreciate, when we come back into the room and I sit back behind my Godsmack drum kit, I feel like I'm coming home.
Why are you changing the name though?
Yeah.
Because it's not the review without Rayford.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He was the face and voice of the Apocalypse Blues Revue. So, and I
Wonderful.
figure it's time for a revival.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a good name. I like
Yeah.
it either way. But
Still
like
the
Maiden
APO.
had a different singer at first. They kept it Maiden, Iron Maiden.
But this is going to be a change in stylistic change also. You know, it's to us it's an actual revival that's going to
But
happen.
you don't know when it will happen.
No.
Is it-
not yet.
I do, honestly,
Okay.
but I
Do you
want some
think-
time to simmer down. I don't
Alright.
want to hurt Ray at all, because we love him. He's our brother. And I don't want him to feel like we're firing
Sure.
him because
Yeah.
we
Sure,
weren't
sure.
successful. And Sully
Yeah.
gave me great advice when I told him we were going to let Ray go. And Sully said, look, man, because I said, you know, records didn't really sell. And he said, just make sure that you don't look at these records as a failure. Don't look at the guy and say, we failed, so we're letting you go. Because in truth, you know, a record is a success if it makes you feel good, and no matter how many copies it sells. You know, and that might sound cliche, but it's the damn truth.
Yeah.
Last question, Sully. I know you are a big Alice in Chains fan. What do you think of Alice in Chains with the new singer? They've been around quite a while now with him, and what do you think in general of, you know, changing such an important member in a band? Do you think that, for example, Godsmack could ever exist without you?
No,
Well, wait a minute though.
that can't be. Yeah,
That-
that's
you
that's
can't-
a bad analogy. but-
First of all, you can't say that anyways because they didn't choose to change a member in the band.
Of course.
He passed away.
Sure.
And so there's a big difference. You know, it's a great band. They were definitely an influence of mine when I was younger. I can honestly say I haven't listened to a lot of Alice in Chains in a long time. I don't think I even know one song from the new singer.
All right.
I just haven't
You
followed
don't
them.
wanna-
It's not because I don't like them.
Okay.
It's because Alice in Chains for me back then, the draw for me, what attracted me to the band was Lane Staley. He was just a very unique, bluesy, dark kind of singer with an incredible set of vocal cords and a very unique way of writing melodies. Jerry Cantrell is, you know, responsible for a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
And that team together was, you know, a Joe Perry, Steven Tyler kind of team.
Yeah.
You know, not the same kind of music, but they had the same kind of chemistry. They were just made to write music together. And so, yeah, I just haven't listened to them in a long time. It's, you know, that's, to me, that music, it served its purpose back in the 90s. And it's just been a long time, so things have changed for me.
Okay.
And plus, like the things we listen to, just to give the new singer a break or whatever, and Jerry, who's a friend of ours, it's like, you know, you go through phases, and you know, now in the dressing rooms, you come in our dressing room, you'll hear Elton John and you know, other weird stuff. Like it's a lot of mellower stuff than what you would think we'd listen to. We don't crank like Alice in Chains and Shinedown and all these bands in our dressing rooms anymore, or in our cars or at home. You know,
we're back to the roots.
Yeah, it's kind of like
we like the old stuff.
It's coming around, you know, to where you're so. I'm so blown away by the things that made me actually want to be a musician all over again, that it gives me this new freshness and this new excitement to be still doing this at my age, you know, and there's nothing against new bands and new music, and you know, I have a 20-year-old daughter in college, and so she tries to turn me on to new stuff, and I give it a good listen, and then it just doesn't grab me for some reason, like the Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Very last thing, I know that you lost a team member, your veteran tour manager, Bob Dallas.
Yeah.
Do you have a memory to share about him, and how special is the bond, you know, that you have with, you know, people working with you so many years?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, our crew is like our brothers. They're like our family, you know. Yeah. We've always taken pride in building. Like when this band signed a deal, I took my friends with me. That's just how it was. Those are the people that I had my whole life. I didn't really have my mom or my dad, and some people have big families and they're close. I had my friends growing up. And so over the years, they kind of been groomed to be our techs. And as we went on and we had to hire, you know, more professional people with more experience, you know, some of them grew to become really great techs, and they've evolved with us and they've come along on the journey. But we've always made it a point that even when we were hiring someone new, there's just got to be something about them. They have to kind of fit in this camp.
Yeah.
You know, we're not snobs and we're not that, but we have a real family vibe out here, and we all kind of hang out with each other. Like, we don't like to feel like alienated from someone. So Bob was one of those guys, you know, he fit in very well with us, and he was just funny and crazy, and when he was with us, he drank a lot. So the stories that I could share, I don't know if they're appropriate to share. You know, there was just a lot of
or just the peeing, like he would pee.
Drunken times, and
like say peeing and
I'm not gonna say
walk over in a corner on the bus, and of course sleepwalking and just pee on the floor. And so that's funny, you know what I mean? It's not funny, I guess, at the time when you're sitting there, gee, I mean, that Bob, you know. But it's funny in retrospect.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for your time.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it, and enjoy the show.
Ciao.
I will for sure. Thank you very much. Ciao.